Hey fam, how's it going? Speed Duel Bro here, and in today's video we have the right hero for the job. Let's get right to it. For the skill card we have the right hero for the job, and we're calling on all the heroes for this one. So we have 1 Elemental Hero Sparkman, 1 Clayman, 1 Burcinatrix, 1 Avian, 1 Bubbleman, 1 Wildheart, 1 Necroshade, and 1 Blade Edge. And then 2 Goddess with the Third Eye. For spells, we have 3 Reinforcement of the Army, 3 Fusion Sage, 3 Polymerization, and 2 Diffusion. Then for extra deck, we have 1 Steam Healer, 1 Rampart Blaster, 1 Dark Bright, 1 Flame Wingman, 1 Thunder Giant, and 1 Plasma Vice. Like I said, we're calling all the heroes. Alright, before we go over the game plan, fam, let's review the skill card, the right hero for the job. It reads, once per duel during your main phase, you can shuffle 1 elemental hero monster you control into your main deck. Then special summon 1 level 4 or lower elemental hero monster from your main deck with a different name than the shuffled card. So right off the bat, fam, I can already tell that with this skill card, this deck's greatest strength is going to be its utility, because we now have the ability to call upon any level 4 or lower hero monster at any given time. Granted, it's once per duel, but still a very useful ability. And in terms of fusion summoning, we should be able to fusion summon anytime, anywhere, thanks to this skill card. But let me show you 2 plays here that, if you're going to go with this skill card, knowing these 2 plays is going to be very useful. It's going to revolve around Bubbleman and Wildheart. So let's say we had just normal summoned Sparkman. We've got nothing else on the field, just Sparkman. We're going to activate the skill, the right hero for the job. So we'll send Sparkman back to the main deck, and we will, for this situation, if you have nothing else on the field, search out Bubbleman, because let's read Bubbleman's effect real quick. If this is the only card in your hand, you can special summon it from your hand. When this card is summoned, you can draw 2 cards. You must control no other cards and have no cards in your hand to activate and resolve this effect. So, as you can see, the skill card, the right hero for the job, will special summon that monster that we search out. So this is where Bubbleman can help us make a clutch play or a comeback play. So Bubbleman will special summon. Now it's up to you if you want to special summon it in attack or defense position. So proceeding with the play, we're going to draw our 2 cards. We drew into Poly and then Blade Edge. Oh, well, what do you know? We've got Necroshade in the graveyard. So come on now, Blade Edge, and let's go for game. But as you can see, fam, this is how useful Bubbleman can be with the skill card. That's all I wanted to point out. And then obviously, if you're playing against a trap-heavy deck, then that's where Wildheart will come in, because he has that ability to be unaffected by traps. So there you go. Those are the 2 plays that I feel like you shouldn't forget if you're playing with this skill card. Now let's move on to the how to win / strategies part. How to win / strategies. Now as you can see, fam, this deck has been made to be able to fusion summon consistently and frequently. But not only that, we can potentially OTK, 1 turn kill the opponent. And that's been made possible because of Necroshade, Blade Edge, and Diffusion. So let's say, for example, we're gonna fuse Sparkman and Necroshade, right? So we're gonna get Dark Bright out. And with Necroshade being in the graveyard now, we can use its effect, which is, once while this card is in the graveyard, you can normal summon 1 level 5 or higher elemental hero monster without tributing. So Blade Edge is going to come out, and now we can destroy any monster the opponent may have, and then once their field is clear, we can proceed to Diffusion. So just plays like that, fam, are very frequent with this deck. So really, this deck is at its strongest during the early game to mid game, because we really are trying to knock the opponent out quickly, and up to now, Defusion has been used for defensive purposes, but in this deck, we're going to use it for offensive purposes. The opponent won't see that coming, I promise you. And as mentioned earlier, the ability to be able to call upon any hero monster is going to give us the ability to call upon any hero fusion monster. So let me reiterate that this deck is at its strongest during the early to mid game. This deck's playstyle is reversed from the other deck that's catered to Jaden's skill, Here Goes Something. And by the way, if you haven't seen that deck profile that I made, catered to Here Goes Something, why don't you go check it out after this video so you'll know how that deck plays. And one more thing that I want to point out is that with Bubble Man being in this deck, fam, as we reviewed earlier the play that can be done, I want you to save Bubble Man in the deck as much as possible. Save him as a last resort, just in the event that we find ourselves with nothing on the field. Those 2 cards that he gives us might be clutch. Card analysis. The skill card, the right hero for the job, as mentioned earlier. Very great utility skill for the elemental heroes. The ability to be able to call upon any hero at any given time, which will give us access to any fusion hero at any given time, thus leading for a potential to OTK the opponent. Maybe that's why they made it once per duel, I don't know. And then we play one of each elemental hero that Konami's given us right now at this point in time, because like I said at the beginning of the video, I want to call upon all the heroes to lead us to victory. And then we play 2 Goddess with the third eye this time around because that's what the deck space is allowed. I mean, you can just add 1 more to make it 22, but I kind of like to keep my decks at the bare minimum. That way we can draw into the cards that we need sooner rather than later. But yeah, Goddess with the third eye is just good tech overall, especially for decks that fusion summon. And then we play 3 Reinforcement of the Army to help us get to our elemental heroes. And then we play the 3 Fusion Sage. I've mentioned this in a previous video before. I know that the 3 Fusion Sage may be a bit excessive for some, but I feel like it's obligatory because the skill card doesn't fusion summon for us. So we have to really get to our Polymerization. Otherwise, we're going to be in a bad spot. And then the 2 Defusion to help us potentially OTK the opponent. So in this deck, Defusion is meant for offensive purposes. And then 1 of each of the fusion elemental heroes, because with this deck, you'll never know what situation you'll come into. So you never know which hero will be the right hero for the job. Alright, so where does this deck rank on the power scale? In my humble opinion, this deck is casual. Now the reason why I say it's casual, fam, is because we are very heavily invested in fusion summoning. And granted, we are at its strongest when it is early game to mid game. So we knock the opponent out, we knock them fast, we knock them out strong. However, we're kind of a one-trick pony, so to say. It's either fusion summon or bust. Now granted, you know, we may be able to grind it out because we have all of the heroes on our side. So different situations will call for different heroes. But once we've made our power play, that's it. We're just gonna hope for the best and hope that the hero we chose is the right one. So yeah, fam, that's the deck. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to hit the like button. Helps me out a lot. And if you haven't already subscribed to me, your Speed Duel bro, you're more than welcome to subscribe because 2 things. 1, I always play to win, and I'll teach you how to win. And 2, if you love Speed Duels, I'm sure you'll love me too, your Speed Duel bro. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.